Brother sees all.
Welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at some NASA footage. This is an incredible video. If you're just joining the channel, I do research, and often on the moon I've been able to show that there's possibly an atmosphere or thick, dense dust and hazes. Yes, you're looking at NASA footage right now where oh, did you see, by the way, how it got darker? I brought the exposure down, okay, so that we can see it better. So go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see the switch, a slight dim. So, lots to talk about, guys. We're seeing it at actual speed right now, the footage. I would assume, I guess we're on the moon, right? And watch this. Watch what happens as it changes directions, like it's in a glass tube. Of course, the lines, it's falling between the lines there. It's coincidence. That's just the hub from NASA. So, but look how it veers right there, and it does it in a very quick motion. Now we're going to notice several things, and I'm going to show you several things in this video before we go and compare with my work. They're all going in the same direction. Most of what you're going to see. The ones that are not going in the same direction are a lot higher up that you'll see go by over top. We're also going to slow the footage down, and I'm going to show you that these objects are blinking. They're flashing just like two things: a biological creature or bioluminescent, yeah, right? Or it could be the transportation of the moon people. Look at it blinking here as it's going up. Either it reminds me of maybe their traffic on the moon. It could be. And here's another one going sideways and is not flashing or blinking. It actually looks like some type of energy, eh? Like almost like a ball of plasma. It sure does look like a spirit, I'll tell you that. A ghost, an entity, just maybe a soul. Who knows? It's incredible. Do you see how the light's blinking? And when I say blinking, it's blinking pretty fast. I had to slow it down so we could see it. So, very similar to our planes that blink. Just want to bring that up. You never know, right? Like, I want to mention everything I'm seeing. Planes that leave Earth, leave Earth, duh. Planes that remain around Earth but fly in the sky at 30, 40,000 feet, 30,000 feet, 35,000 feet. They have blinking lights, strobe lights. Look at NASA, whoever, astronaut turned abruptly to be able to see exactly what was going on. Here's the regular converted image like I do with my own images, and you know what? The surface is the same as I show. We see all those jumbled up objects, and guess what? Those beautiful patches that I talk about, no one's interested in. There's something to those patches. Could be trees, vegetation. Absolutely. Let's take a quick look over at my research, what all the hype is about. For me to say, well, Bruce, did you find anything similar to that? These are lights that you just saw right now that arrived to the east side of the moon. And what about these quick flying objects, very military-like? I wanted to prove that the lights were touching the surface. And I'm there now, and we can see the smoke lifting up off of the direct surface. These higher up in the atmosphere, so obviously they're maybe not touching the surface of the moon. And when I say maybe, guys, I'm pretty pressed up. Take away all those objects flying around and you see nothing, right? But what about this? This is sinus iridum, the promontorium at the end. It's not for nothing that there are lights going to and from the moon. If we're seeing structuring there too, you know. But the characterization, and we're back. As I was saying, the characterization of each light often is different. So this one that's on the surface that's disappearing and reappearing further away, it's not like the ones that I saw arriving to the moon, nor like the ones that look like biological creatures that are roaming around under the hazes or clouds on the moon. This is my own research, and the lights that we're seeing, I've been showing them for a couple of years now, couple years, And we just saw in the NASA footage, which we're going to go right back to one last time. Hope I'm not boring you, but for me it was everything seeing that NASA footage, because it actually confirms that I'm seeing lights very similar. Look in the center, watch it change directions immediately, just like it's in its last tube or in a launch tube on the surface. Notice they are in a very particular same trajectory and direction as they are taking off. Every one of them, every single one of them that you have seen so far are taking off on the exact same trajectory and are lifting up at the same height, each and every one of them. Some of them are going a lot faster, some of them a lot slower, but they are blinking and flashing. The one that you just saw go by was not blinking and flashing because he was probably already higher up. And if I say if he was higher up, it's scary because it's almost like they have laws, them too, as they fly around. But hang on, is this something living? An organism, a biological creature, a bloody spirit? I don't know what they are. On my end, when I show the surface, it's going to be further away, obviously, than what you just saw. It's not easy to show the truth there. Here's Theophilus crater, and you can see a very small, if your screen is clean and it's not daytime, very important you have to watch my videos at night, especially these. There's something in the darkness of Theophilus crater. What do you think of that? Smoke is lifting up off of the object. Is it on the surface? It is following that black line. If it wouldn't have been for that black line, we would not have seen that object on the surface. There's something up there and they're far away. So again, another characteristic. This one's not taken off. It's on the surface. This could be one of the ones that we just saw, right? But again, it's not on the surface. Look at the smoke coming from this UFO on the surface. It's very close to the surface, if not on the surface. All the objects on the left is the surface that you're seeing, and it's creating a smoke, either deliberate or not. Are they coming out of these tunnels on the inside of the moon? Is that a possibility? This one's letting off a gas. So what am I supposed to characterize this as? It's definitely not a UFO. It's not going in a straight line. Look, it stopped. It takes off, it stops and changes directions. It becomes yellow. There's a gas that comes off of it. I'm confused because I'm seeing a smoke over top of it, and I'm seeing colors underneath it, and it's going into a crater. Watch the gas come off of it. It's beautiful. It's something. Think of it, guys. They've never mentioned this before. We've never heard anything in the world of any field of this, whatever it is, biological creature, or these lights on the moon. But we just saw NASA themselves show us the footage of it, and I'm showing the same thing. This one's stopped almost, right? So what is it? You could say it's debris. I mean, of course, some of the things I'm capturing has to be debris. Now it gets serious. This one is, these two actually are letting off gases. Fluorescent gases. No, there's absolutely no filter here. None whatsoever. Here there is. Obviously, you saw the difference. Real yellow color appearing. Could be refraction. It doesn't matter. It's still fluorescent. And even here with no color and just a green conversion, you can see a gas coming off this object. So, guys, it could be also reacting to the atmosphere and its environment. If it's clashing with oxygen, if it's letting off some type of gas into the atmosphere, in the air higher up, like here, you know, things react differently, different temperatures here around Earth. And this is an explosion. What is that? With smoke again lifting up. And it's still different. These are all different characteristics for each of these lights, and I have many more. This object is so bright at the back of its ass, it's illuminating the object itself, and it's also illuminating the surface. Could these be soldiers going out to war, protecting the moon or fighting elsewhere? It's getting serious seeing these objects entering and exiting the moon. What, there's oxygen more inside of the moon? That's where they are? On the inside? You see the lights taking off in the same directions. That means there's a side of the moon. Obviously, they're coming back to the moon, which could be the dark side. Who knows? But it's very scary when you see this and you say, I'm filming lights going to and from the moon. NASA here showing these objects. Are they living? What are they? You have to wonder what the hell they are. I have no idea, but it could be a deliberate direction for air traffic on the moon, military or not, beings or not. I'd like you to take note of this object that we see on the surface. That's just the HUD or hub from NASA. Those lines have nothing to do with what's on the moon. It's, you know, you get it. It's the camera. Watch what's going to happen to the object in the center there. You do see that it's doing a half moon. It is turning. It goes towards the left, and it's not going towards anywhere. It's turning completely. It is in a rotation. And I believe it could be changing directions to align itself with the traffic taking off like instantaneously, as it says, okay, coming out of the tunnel or whatever, the last tube, and I'm going to veer off and take off, and they all take off together in a rush. So where do you think they are stationed? And that's what we're going to go see. This is a long video, and there's lots to see. I'll have to make many more videos. See the white reflection on the surface? They're sitting right there in front of you. They're sitting right there in front of us. And they're taking off from the surface as NASA's flying over, probably disturbing them. It takes a long time for us to come up with theories and understand it, and there's lots more I will do, and we'll go back to it, guys. I'll think of things while I'm sleeping tonight. Imagine. So will you. Explosions, this is my footage now, and will remain with my footage, I think. I'll let you know if we change. The surface that has these objects, they're pumping something out of the surface, or their dwellings, their buildings, they're all aligned. Listen to all the theories. They could be all interconnected the way they are because there's no oxygen on the moon. It could be that there's vegetation around it hiding it, and there actually is oxygen on the moon, and the traffic is hidden under heavy vegetation or some type of camouflage. Check it out. Sinus Iridum, Apollo 17 landed just off to the right of it, but there's a rectangle there. I can see it well now, but look how even better we can see it by not manipulating the image, just bringing the exposure down. Look at that bloody rectangle. There's an illuminating lights inside of it and a towering object, and also lines going all the way to where they supposedly landed. Moving right along. You want to see the traffic? I'm going to show you something what I understand. Okay, guys? I'm not going to fight with you. I know what I know. This manipulated square crater, there's tubing, or whether liquid or traffic, that's where they're traveling. They're traveling inside of the lights. White UFOs land on white reflective areas. They can leave at the last minute, no problem, without being seen. I don't know if you guys have any idea. You look at the crater and like, why don't you zoom in? I'm zoomed in so badly with the 14-inch scope. Actually, this wasn't the 14-inch scope. This was only my 6-inch scope. It wasn't even 6. It was 5, actually. But do you see where the traffic is going and how, in theory, they can line themselves up in there? Why do I say they're in there? I see the lights moving. Here's one leaving the surface or exiting the surface, and that's scary shit. Sorry there, but it really is. And it's definitely exiting it, right? Because you don't see it, and then you see it. So it's either illuminating and launching, which would have been really fast. And look at the speed this mother is going to meet up, by the way, with a UFO fleet, guys. Just this footage alone is the most spectacular footage I've ever captured of a UFO. And it just so happens it's in Mare Fecunditatis on the moon. And I'm sorry, guys, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are several, 6 or 9 of these objects flying by at high rates of speed in the middle of the afternoon. No, we're not going to be invaded. That's something I can maybe not confirm, but maybe encourage you to tell you these aliens or beings, whoever the hell they are, whatever the hell they are. And again, I don't rule out that they could be spirits or entities. I mean, it comes into the same club, I find. What about this large triangular object going by the sun or seen in a line of vision between me and the sun? There's so many objects out there, guys. Imagine the size of that. Someone told me the other day all the lights we're seeing are the tiny lights that come out of those big crafts. Scary, isn't it? This one. 15 feet, I showed it recently, again, 15 feet over my head, 20 and then 15 feet. Really low. I could have hit it with a shovel. By throwing the shovel, obviously. 15 feet, guys. Think of it. You're not going to say that that's not a UFO and that I didn't just have an encounter, right? I'm surprised my telephone spoons and forks and knives don't stick to my face, right? This is something I've never experienced before. It was quite an emotional event. Okay, you're just looking at a regular light, but I saw what it was doing, and it was doing things, the light. You could clearly see it's spectacular. There are lights around a black interior, invisible object that you can see through, which means it's totally freaking alien. Nobody can understand what we're looking at. Could be HARP beaming a beam, or China or something. We're hearing so many spy stories and satellites that went up. India, China, US. Everyone's sending spy satellites up. Space wars, they definitely exist. Trump was supposed to reveal the UFOs. He was definitely supposed to reveal it, but from the Galactic Federation, obviously Alpha Haynes got the information, it was too early to reveal. It's coming, guys. We may have this revealed before they go to the moon in 2024. Which, by the way, I do believe they're going to back that date up, possibly. 25, 26, 28, who knows. By the way, they found Mars. I'm sorry, yes, they found Mars a long time ago. They found water on Mars 3 days ago. Flowing water. First they admit about the water, then they admit about the vegetation, then they admit about some of the structures, and then they admit about the beings. We're far away, maybe, from having a disclosure for the moon, but we see it coming, guys. We're going to see more than the world and all the humans on this planet for the past thousands of years have ever seen as truth. It's coming, guys. It'll be leaked. We have these UFOs buzzing the American warships. Just recently, we have Avril Haines, spy chief, right? Okay? Who mentioned they could be alien. Where the hell do you think they're coming from? This is on the moon. Look at the lights inside the darkness in the craters. They're doing something up there. Definitely looks like they're mining too. This is real surface shots. Slowing down the footage, bringing the exposure down, filtering it any way you can without manipulating the anything in the video, except trying to bring proof so that you can see these objects more. Check this out. UFO ignition and launch from Station 1. UFO ignition and launch, second UFO from Station 1. More lights arriving right after. Let's see it again. 2 UFOs leaving the exact same area. First UFO leaves, second UFO, watch, look carefully. First UFO, second UFO, but look at the shape of them. They're lifting up off the surface. They're connected still to the surface. Well, connected in a way where you can see the smoke or hazes still connected to the surface. It's absolutely amazing. You can see their shapes. They're square. Okay? Here's another UFO changing directions, and its light changes directions. It lights up, and you can see other spheres around it. They're hiding inside of the hazes or dense smoke. I just showed you the NASA footage at the beginning with these objects, incredible objects taken off from the surface, and even better, leaving right here. This is, yes, Copernicus crater. There's a light leaving the interior of the bloody crater, right on its edge. No, not in the center of it or in the hole of it, right on its highest ridge and edge around Copernicus, exactly seen here from Montreal on the east side. We can see it here in slow motion, quite properly, enough for you to see exactly the object coming out. Do you see how small they are? Why do you think NASA was able to see them closer? They're obviously closer to the moon in the atmosphere. Moving right along. I packed this video. I couldn't have put any more in it. Check it out. The lights are off, right? Because this is the edge of the moon. But look what happened suddenly to me. See, I'm showing you all this fast. Something lifts up off the surface. Another light comes out of it. And I say another light because you'll see it several times in my footage. And watch what happens with that light. It first appears at the end lined up of that large shadow that lifts up off the surface that we can clearly see here in this image, and then comes down and descends. So what everyone thinks is a surface is actually cloud cover or a dense haze. Do you see what happens when my telescope is off of the moon? This is luck, and I was able to, well, I get lucky often, but either way, maybe some skill involved. Let's see that one more time. It's an object coming down to hit the moon, and unless you're placed exactly how I am, you'll never see it. Imagine within the same year and even month, I think, as Oumuamua. Wasn't at all going in the right direction, since I heard it was going towards constellation of Lyra, and of course we know that it wasn't rotating this way. This one's just spiraling around, staying straight, but you know what I mean, turning like a tourniquet. But Oumuamua was rotating from head to toe. Well, we're looking at the views on the post. 300 views and 300 likes, and I will post the video before midnight. It's actually now 11:20. I'm curious to see if the community will be able to make it to the 300 likes, which would be totally awesome. So there it is, folks. Zoomed out even further. You see the moon. No hiding. Mare fecunditatis. In French, it's the fertility mare, right? What are they? The lights are going fast. Could you imagine them invading Earth? As a theory, could you imagine these lights coming to Earth? We'd never be able to catch them, one, on radars. Our vessels are not fast enough. Okay, sure, there's secret projects. I get it. We're advanced. The elites are advanced, right? I get it. But how advanced are we exactly? Any of you think the elites could have possibly left Earth? I'm there in my thoughts and stuff. And again, nothing hurts by theorizing, but do the elites, the rulers of this Earth, have a place outside of Earth? Do they maybe have many places outside of Earth? If this doesn't scare you when you see these lights going by, that was captured in the middle of the afternoon, by the way. This, my friends, is in the middle of the afternoon during lunchtime. You know how I found it? I posted a video, and it just so happens that I saw it in the video by looking at it after I had not even seen it. That's the surface of the moon. Those UFO fleets are traveling faster than any flying vehicle here on Earth. When you take the time to understand exactly what I caught, luck or not, it's a beautiful disclosure, and it gives you a lot of information, even though it's maybe not exposing even the tip of the iceberg. We have no idea. See it when I go forward and backwards? Look at the lights everywhere. Like, I've analyzed this for years. You got to look around. Do you see all the movement at the same time? I assure you, look here. I'm not kidding you guys. We're looking at military-like formations. They're leaving quickly, guys, at the same time. And look in the lights on the bottom. It's UFOs. That's where they're stationed. They're going from planet to planet. They're doing their business. But it should be positive for some people. It shouldn't scare you. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I want people to understand, religious or not. There they are in the lights, guys. Look, right there. Right at the end of the arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm telling you, you're looking at UFO fleets. Like, you know, hard to imagine, but it's true. But while you're looking at UFOs disappearing, religious people and stuff, I'm not trying to scare you or change your religions. I want you to integrate this and to know that, you know, your God that you believe in is, in mine, is far greater than many people think. And what's this smoke behind this object in the atmosphere of the moon? There's another proof. You know, so you see how I could have added at least another half an hour to it, but it doesn't matter, folks. I'm going to get some more videos up. Christmas is coming. I'm not going to stop producing the videos. And look at the smoke and the other lights underneath. So you see, those could be the lights that NASA just showed us. And if not, it's still interesting. What do you think is going to happen in 2050? Do you think we'll be advanced enough to be having built refueling stations on every planet in the solar system, traveling both from to Earth, the moon, and probably most of the planets, and maybe even some tourism, some products and sales items being brought from planet to planet. A major trillions and trillions of dollars program that would just skyrocket and expand the elite's ideas. Obviously, that's what's going on. Do you believe that there are soldiers on other planets? Do you believe other militaries? Maybe would you go as far as thinking maybe other currencies and even a park or a school or a Walmart?
That's where your mind plays tricks on you. Well, we're living in the matrix. That's where your mind plays tricks. In the matrix, yes we are. All of our perception just a projection of their own reality. In ours, they're projecting that same old